I'm in my studio here, and I thought I would record some of my experiences and experiencing while living my artist life. And it's been quite an interesting journey, particularly right now because I have a little more time than I normally have, spring 2020, as we're all deeply immersed in quiet thoughtfulness and yet incredible busyness to try to carve our way through a brand new life that is being put upon us from the outside. But deeply, it's really, for me, very important to journey inside to understand my response and my world of why it is I'm here. And I've been very blessed to have a very full life of lots of adventures, enough adventures that fill many books that I have written my notes in. And I just thought it'd be fun to share some of them. As I opened up a couple of books today, I came across a poem, and it's called The Walk. And I reflected on over the course of my life, really, in the last, even if I just go for the last 10, 15 years, I've taken a lot of really interesting walks in some interesting areas, um, including Salt Spring Island, where I live. And one of those walks, I decided to write a poem called The Walk. And the reason I wanted to write this was to really reflect on what a walk is for me. It's not about socializing with others. Most of my walks are alone, or if it's with others, we are pretty much quiet in contemplation to our own thoughts or and nature around us. And one of the goals I often have when I go on a longer walk is to be in a kind of meditation. And a number of years ago, I actually chose to take a walk in France called the Chemin Saint Jacques. It is a pathway. The Chemin Saint Jacques means the Walk of St. James. It is the pathway to Compostela, Santiago de Compostela in Spain. And so, as a pilgrim, this walk has been walked for over 1,000 years. And Europe is so incredibly fortunate and riddled with these pathways where pilgrims would literally take walks for maybe years and maybe never come home, all in the quest for maybe penance or thoughtfulness or understanding what their life was about. So, this is an age old a calling that people can have. And the Walk of St. James goes to honor the bones of St. James in the cathedral at Santiago de Compostela. So, in that sense, it is probably very much a Christian walk. When I did the walk, I did it starting in France, very close to a town called Le Puy-en-Velay. And I only walked a week or so of it because I really badly damaged a knee. And as they say on a walk, what happens is that it's not just the physical action of the walk, it's everything from all the pain, the suffering, the physical, all the thoughts that arise and fall, and how to stay centered within it, and what does one learn from that. And so, even while I was convalescing with this knee that would just not allow me to walk any further, I was in a place of huge walking in my mind to understand what was going on. So, I'm just going to read a few thoughts because it's not just France where I've walked. I've walked in Italy along the Amalfi Coast. I've walked in Ireland. I've walked in Peru, in the Sacred Valley in Peru. I've walked the Great Wall of China. Anyways, I did this wonderful walk around Salt Spring. And this is something that I wrote from one of my journal books, so I thought I would read this to you. My goal to walk around Salt Spring has been percolating for some years. And even before my walk on the Chemin Saint-Jacques, the 1,000-year-old pilgrimage trail that originates in France and goes on to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, I walked a small portion of a route known as the Grand Randonnée, Randonnée 65, from Figeac to Cahors, all with my husband Duart and our youngest daughter Lauren. And this was quite an amazing walk. We had to carry our water with us. We had to carry our clothes with us. We had to make sure our pack was really, really light and something that we could manage every day, all day long, carrying our own pack. So we didn't have a pack horse. We didn't have a taxi that picked it up and dropped it off. And on top of that, this walk was so arduous that when we got to a little village destination, we never knew whether the accommodation was going to be available for us to stay overnight. And as a matter of fact, we did get to some of those situations where we had to carry on for another 5 or 10 kilometers to find a place that had accommodation for us. So you couldn't even pre-book it. It was really, it was just as a pilgrim in the old days would do in many ways. I mean, we had a lot more comfort, obviously, than pilgrims in the old days, but we still had to carry everything with us, right, including my little notebook that I'm reading something about, which is prompting me to talk about some of this. Really fun. I was able to record most of my days of the walk and the thoughts that were going through, and of course the dreams. And I also had a chance to show some of my drawings. Can you see this? This is my leg. Oh my God, when I was so sore, bandaged knee, and literally I was in bed for almost a week. I was able to get some crutches, and so I was able to hobble about for meals, but otherwise it was just lying with this throbbing pain while I tried to sort it out and go into deep centered meditation to try to breathe in every moment. And anyways, there was a solution to it, but that's for another time. So what prompted me to talk about walking today was that I came across a poem that I'd written a number of years ago that had a lot to do with this walk in France, had a lot to do with my walk when I walked around the whole, the roads all the way around Salt Springs. Salt Springs about 27 miles long, 7 miles wide, and but little roads all, zigzagging all through the island. So I literally did that. And I'm going to read a poem. I woke up very, very early, probably around 4 o'clock one morning, to write this poem in the realization of the immensity of my self-imposed walk journey to try to stay in a meditative place. And when I say meditation, meaning almost no thought. Interesting tall order, but I've done lots of meditations in my life and lots of creative visualization meditations, but to me the supreme meditation is shamatha, or just being present with your breath. So I'm just going to read this poem, the shamatha walk. No name, no blame, insane walk. Feet tread, lifting dread, sucking breath between tight ribs like a top heated up, uncertain release, unstaggered hiss. I nearly miss the moment. A deeper need arises, glimpsing a glimmer, orbs they dance, then dimmer, as concentration names the present. Surrender, deep, wallow, mired, how to tell the difference. Becoming live as I dive and die and lie in uncertain territory. Is this the Bardo state? A wise eye blinks, and then another. Crinkled dark skin folds, releases absorbing light. Observer, present, watching. A moment passes. A symphony of dancing viridian, crackling Carillion cymbals crescendo to extravaganza light show of pattern. Klimt gold-lined lovers embrace. Chagall fiddler floats over rooftops. Picasso lines distort, regroup, define two thoughts to one. Monet calmly rows along lily and draping willow. I notice. Another moment passes. In baby steps I walk, uncertain of my reason. Uncertain of my reason, did I need? A knowing deep is call to action, sometimes stuck very deep in shit, disgust, a pity goop. Then another surge uplifts my nose to intoxicate the oxygen. In slow motion, echo remembrances surface. I place another foot, step, and step again. This tightrope act between states reverberates, emulates, duplicates, patty cakes. It's ridiculous. Exhaustion seeps out. Another step I take. Intention is a funny thing, a naming bling, a glory sting of hope, half truths, half full truths, a beginning. Can I sustain my deepest need? Is there time to unwind and spring this march of time? Tick tock, gibberish, gobbling sop of nothing. I put my mind on a shelf, place a blanket on it, tuck it in, kiss it goodnight, and tiptoe out upon the star. I go afar, leaving it behind me for the moment, and then I take another step. So really what I'm trying to say in this poem is that my mind is just jumping. I'm active, and with each step, I kind of become observant of where my mind is going. I'm trying to name things. I'm even trying to name the place I'm in, the mood I'm in. And then before you know it, I'm seeing a tree and it's lined in gold like Klimt. Or I go into a resting, quiet place of Monet, paddling across his beautiful lily pond. It just goes on. And so it's so interesting, stilling the mind. And for me, walking is a fabulous way to try to take that journey. One can sit quietly in a beautiful meditative spot with lovely pillows all around and incense burning and a candle and, a warm sheepskin rug to sit on, lie on, whatever, however you want to organize your meditation place. But a walking meditation, whoa, there's a whole other set of challenges, and is it amazing? So I just thought I would share with you this poem that I came across and memories of a walk in France. And I can do more sharings later about my walking in Peru, about what it was like to walk the Great Wall in China, and specifically the walk around Salt Spring. That was very enlightening. So there you go. This is my artist-inspired life.